Success and meaningfulness, something all living things strive for in some form. And no matter if we talk about individuals, organizations, or whole species, the direction of their development is what largely will determine how far they come in reaching those goals. Sometimes we have the chance to influence this development, whether it's our own, our near and dear, or our colleagues or employees. So understanding what drives, what mechanisms drive development is of the utmost importance in the quest to help each other achieve our goals. In my work as a psychologist, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I best can contribute to these developments. And what I've found is that it's always the same mechanisms that are central. I will therefore describe 3 of the greatest achievements in human thinking to explain the red thread of development. If we start with the old Greeks, as we often should, Aristotle was the first who wrote down what we today call the scientific method. This has been the basis of most of human progress, both technical and scientific, all since then. And if we think about the steps in the scientific method, how it works, gather as much knowledge on the subject that you can, make a qualified guess on how to improve, try in an experiment, and then analyze if progress was made. Did it get better? Good. Continue and see if you can refine it further in new experiments. If it didn't become better, good, now you have new knowledge. Now you can make an even better educated guess the next time for your new tries, your new experiments. So you can say that scientific progress is made when you try a variety of variations and you move on with the most effective one, the most effective solution, and you try this in new variations. One person who used this method to great advancements was Charles Darwin, who came up with the theory of evolution, how all life develops and evolves. And when life is faced with a certain environment, it is critical that there is a variation within a species so that those individuals who are best suited for the environment are those who reproduce the best. And their children will in their turn mutate into a bunch of varieties that in their turn will be tried against the environment. So one can say that evolutionary progress is made by starting with a bunch of different variations, and the version that works best is the ones that's selected to continue in a new bunch of variation. This process of evolution also led up to us, humans. And we who are born as the most helpless of all species grow up to become the only species you see from the airplane window. How did this happen? Why us? Why not a giraffe or a lion? Jean Piaget studied this and he found the answer. Where other animals have a lot of pre-programmed behaviors, human children's pre-programmed behavior is the constant obsession with trying and adjusting and trying and adjusting to constantly strive for more effective solutions. A baby will try 1,000 different ways to roll around, and when they find the way who works more efficiently, they will choose that one and continue to strive for better ways of moving. Children learn to speak by formulating sentences and trying them against the adult world, and then adjusting accordingly. You taste the soup and you correct the seasoning with a pinch of salt, and then you try again and see if you have to adjust further. In all new abilities you develop, you guess, you try, you adjust, you guess again, you try, and you adjust again. You could say that human development is made by trying a bunch of different variants and choosing the most effective solution. So Aristotle was right. He just wrote down what we already were. We are walking scientists. As we can see, development always follows the same process, a process that's already there. So how do we release this? What factors are important to achieve maximum development? Think about where science works most efficiently. In a lab, under safe and stable conditions, in an environment where critical scrutiny by knowledgeable colleagues are of the utmost importance, where the goal is often clear but the road towards it is unknown and free, with a university free from stately or bureaucratic influence. Being able to operate freely in a calm and open environment seems central to scientific development. Nature always offers freedom, and the species who can create security in form of group cohesion or access to food and shelter are the ones who will succeed better than those who are not able to do these things. Stability is also required for the evolutionary progress to really work fully. Let there be a stable environment, and the different species will develop the most fantastic beaks or longest necks. But throw down a comet and the most fantastically developed and evolved creatures will go extinct. Security, stability, and freedom. And think of us people. Under what circumstances is our development promoted? A confident child who is given the freedom to roam and the safety to go to when scared or hungry will unleash their inner scientist and take on the world with this trial and error thinking, constantly evolving and learning new things and better ways of doing. They will do it in steps. They will learn to cycle with supporting wheels, and they will never have to do it on the highway. An employee who is given a manager to trust, room to fail, and an open communication environment will stay longer, solve problems better, dare to seek support when needed, go home happier, and contribute much better than someone who is guided by stress. That is why organizational researcher Jim Collins finds that the best leaders are recruited from within and works humbly and openly with free employees. This is why psychological safety proves to be the most important factors when Google explores what differentiates effective teams from others. This is why Spotify hires agile coaches whose only job is to support this process. And this is why empowerment, self-leadership, and agile working are leadership models who have been found to work in today's complex environment. People always want to evolve, and evolution always works the same way. Already Aristotle tried to give this knowledge to a pupil named Alexander. He became the great and took over all of the known world. The process is still the same. The only question is where you want to go with it.